Sometimes.
We're so done with New Year, New You. This year, it's more you on Bumble. More of you shamelessly sending playlists, especially that one filled with show tunes. More of you finding Geminis because you know you always like them. More of you dating with intention because you know what you want. And you know what? We love that for you. Someone else will too. Be more you this year and find them on Bumble.
Will exist in relationships in life where it's like, this person probably doesn't actually like me. Guys, what's going on? Welcome to the Bird Brain Podcast, where the goal is to rise above it all, stay elevated, create that infinity, up your you. I'm your host, Isaiah. Happy June. Happy June. Happy Pride to all you guys out there. What else is being celebrated in June? I don't know, but happy everything that you are celebrating. If it's a birthday, no Father's Day is in the mix. Happy love. Happy love, y'all. Funny enough, this episode is in a weird roundabout way. It brings to light a conversation that people don't really have. And a lot of people think it, a lot of people experience it, but a lot of times we don't speak on it. And it's this dynamic of understanding that maybe the people that I have in my life genuinely don't like me. They may like what I do for them. They may love how I take care of them, but however, they don't like me as a person. And them not like you as a person could be a lot of things, or you might be this person, and there could be a certain level of, let's say, animosity, jealousy, envy, like this weird aversion that we may experience and or pick up on in our interpersonal relationships. And, I was reading, I don't know what I was reading. I've heard about it a lot, and I think even myself, I've experienced it, but it's something you never want to talk about, right? Because to say that, hey, I don't think this person really likes me, or I think this person might be jealous of me, etc., it comes off, for a lot of people, paranoid. Like you're being paranoid, or you're so full of yourself, why would somebody be jealous of you, etc. And the funny thing about it is sometimes it's hard to prove. Right? I can't really prove it because they're not necessarily doing things that are so abrasive or malicious that it's a cause for concern. Sometimes it may happen in conversation, right? Where someone is doing or saying things or being condescending or picking at you. And the response is like, oh yeah, well, they're just joking. That's how friends joke, right? Or when it comes to celebrating or supporting you, they're very quiet. And then somebody's like, well, yeah, maybe they have things going on, or they don't need, people don't always need to support you, etc. Like there's always this thing. And the person on the receptive end of it, if you're perceptive enough, you can tell the difference between someone who actually, who genuinely just likes you and who does not. And again, this is not liking in the romantic aspect, although there can be a lot of dislike for your romantic partner. And people speak on that. People will speak on that. But there's it's a very interesting energy and an interesting behavior. And the funny thing about it is when a person does not like you, they have a hard time hiding it, because even if they try to posture as if they do, or like if they're cool or whatever, it comes out in different ways, right? It comes out in their withholding. It comes out in their need to be condescending. It comes out in their need to say or do certain things, like even exclusion. That's a thing, right? If you are, let's say you're with a group of people, and this applies to like friendships or even family. You're with a group of people and all these people are making plans and you're sitting there and they kind of subtly but very intentionally leave you out of the conversation, or they don't invite you. Like everybody else gets the memo, but for some reason it feels like, oh, it, am I a part of this or no? And again, this is taken out of the realm of paranoia when you think that everybody hates you, everybody's out to get you, etc. If you go through life enough and you have your experiences and you are working on your own level of self-awareness, you will start to pick up on the subtleties of people who genuinely don't like you, or there's a certain level of insecurity that they have when it comes to you, and they treat you as such. And there's nothing that you can do. I think that's the great thing, when we actually think about that, there is nothing that I can do to change a person in terms of how they feel about me, especially if their feelings are deep rooted from something else. Like, again, if it's an insecurity thing, or, because even jealousy, envy, all of those things stem from insecurities, right? So there is nothing that I can do as a person that will change that individual, because that's character. That's character. And sometimes we make the mistake of trying to get people to like us, right? You try to keep giving a person more. You try to be supportive. You're doing everything to care for this person just genuinely. I was talking to a friend the other day, actually a couple of my friends this week. We were just having different conversations because everybody has something going on, right? Everybody has different things going on in life. And our ability to just show up is everything, right? And showing up doesn't always mean a physical presence. You'll be calling, just check in. Hey, how's everything going? And you get to talking about good news, or, they have an endeavor that's going on, and then immediately becomes, oh, well, if there's anything I can help with, let me know. Or how can I help? Right? And I said this one thing to a friend of mine. I said, the people who are not weird about supporting you are not weird about supporting you. Okay? The people who are not weird about supporting you are not weird about supporting you. In other words, the people who are not, they don't have an issue, or they don't have a hang up. They don't have this deep rooted thing about being in your life outside of what it does for them. The idea of them supporting you, or their ability to support you, won't be an issue. You won't feel weird about it, and they won't make it weird, because that's just not in them. That's not their trajectory. That's not their mode of operation. So it won't be felt. We fail to realize how much our energy emits, right? How much energy we emit and how much our energy actually admits, right? Our energy emits so much. And if you're dealing with a person who is very, sensitive in certain ways, or they are genuinely seeking connection and they're aware, right? To be genuine doesn't mean to be gullible. People can recognize when they are not being valued, or they are being treated a certain way, or just being dismissed or dissed in a certain way. They're aware of it, and they might swallow it a couple of times. And then finally they reach this point where it's like, oh, okay, I get it. This person doesn't really rock with me.
Kroger Delivery has one mission: to deliver the freshest food right to your door. That's why our drivers are pros. Our trucks are refrigerated. And when it comes to low prices, we always deliver. With $20 off your first order of $75 or more, there's no better time to get in on the action. Mission accomplished. Restrictions apply. See site for details.
You guys hear the birds chirping? And this is why I think that when we hold romantic partnerships to a certain standard over our other relationships, we kind of miss the mark. right? Because people are still people outside of the labels that we are attached to them, outside of the documented papers that we attach, that we sign, okay? Aside from the ceremonies that we have. You know how many times I've heard in relationships where somebody's like, yeah, I realize that my husband or my wife is jealous of me. They don't like me. They sabotage certain things. They say or do certain things, right? They treat me poorly. And the question may be, well, why are you together? And that is a good question. And people have their reasons. That's a funny thing. People will have their reasons. Sometimes it's a fear of being alone. Sometimes it's a fear of financial scarcity, right? There are things that are influencing why this person continues to be with this individual while knowing, like, yeah, this person doesn't like me. They don't like me as an individual. They may like what I do for them, but they don't like me, you know? Our energy, who we are, our character will show up consistently, even when we are posturing in a different way. It is so telling. And to be on a receptive end of it, like sometimes it's like, it feels weird. Because like, am I being crazy? Is it me? Maybe it's just in my head. And then what the real kicker is when people outside of you tell you, hey, I've noticed this. This is something I've been aware of. And then even worse when there are multiple people saying the same thing who don't talk to each other and they have the same conclusions. Well, then it becomes a little bit more obvious, right? Then it becomes a little bit more real. And in certain ways, there is a sense of relief because it's like, oh man, I'm not crazy. And then at the same time, it's like a certain level of dread because it's like, oh shit. The person I'm in relationship with doesn't really rock with me. And this could be family too. It happens in family a lot, And again, this is people being people. And this is why I think the talk around relationships outside of just romantic partnerships are so important. It's so crucial to just understand the company you keep. It is so crucial. And there's so much you learn. I don't think being genuine can be taught. I don't know if like that concept is something, if it's a skill or if it's just an innate thing. And the reason why I say that is because there are some people who come from everything, right? And still how they treat people is deplorable. And then there are people who come from not much of anything and they're generous, they treat people well and it's just who they are. So I don't know if that's a thing. And because I'm not sure of that, or I don't know if there's a study out there, you guys could tell me. It becomes more of information of like, it is important to just understand your relationships and be mindful of who you spend time with and be okay with establishing boundaries. Not everybody has to be your friend. Not everybody has to like you, but be damn sure that the people that you are showing up for and taking care of actually give a damn about you in return. You do not have to sustain relationships with people who don't like you. For what? Or people who have this weird animosity with you and you're showing up for them. You're treating them properly. What do you get from that? What is the goal? I think it's truly important to ask yourself, what is my goal with being in a relationship with a person who genuinely does not like me or has shown that they don't care. They don't care about me. Even in the workplace sometimes, like there's this desire for people who want to be around you, but they don't like you, right? They love what you offer, but they don't like you. And that's an internal struggle. That's wild. And it's so much information in terms of how somebody navigates life because it's like, what is their driving force? You're around somebody that you don't even like. For what? You're befriending or trying to befriend a person that you don't like. Why? You're in a relationship with this person, you don't even like them. Why? It literally makes no sense to dislike a person and to be in close proximity with them and to continually create that relationship and build that relationship with a person you genuinely dislike. And that lets us know that there is a very interesting pathology there, you know. And some folks may not have it figured out for themselves. And that's scary, right? Because that shows that there's a lack of self-awareness, okay? Lack of accountability. But to be in those spaces, if you are in one of those spaces, I want to remind you, ask yourself, why am I here? What does it do for me to be here? What does it do for me to exist in this space with this person? Because if somebody doesn't like me, they're not necessarily going to take care of me. So what are you doing? Why are you doing it? And how long will you continue to? One of the things I've learned to do is remove, especially when it comes to friendship. So friendship, if you look up the definition of friendship and what it means, it's only a positive. So I remove the negative things from it. So the jealous friend, the envious friend, the shady friend, the this or that, they are not friends. They are not friends. So therefore, they don't get the title of a friend while also doing things that contradict what friendship is altogether. And that brings me peace, right? And that clears my head, and that allows a little bit more healthier trajectory. Oh, this person is not a friend. They are a jealous person, or they are an envious person, or they're a shady person. They are not my friend. Okay? Because sometimes what we do is we get disappointed by people and we label them in a certain way. And then that kind of, that's an overcast of everybody now. All friends have the potential to, no, actually, no. People have the capacity to do these things. Yes, people. But not all those people are your friends. And truthfully, your friends won't do that. When you look up the definition of friend and you understand what it means and what purpose it serves as a friend and to have one, all those other things are not there. I think it's so crucial that we learn to distinguish what a friend is and what one is not. So we stop crossing the lines. Okay. Friendship deserves respect. I say this all the time. It deserves the respect that it deserves. When you are looking for a romantic partner, don't look at the fact that you just like this person. Look at how they are treating you before you label them as a partner. If you're in a relationship with a person you don't like, be honest with yourself. Why do you keep them around? Because of what they can do for you. But if you truly are a caring and thoughtful person, you would leave them alone because you are not looking to take care of them the way they deserve. You don't even like them, so how can you? And then when it comes to family members, yeah, sometimes you're family because of DNA. You are not family by principle. People who do not like you, you won't like to be around. And when I say you won't like to be around, energetically things will feel off. You may want to have that bond with them or that connection, but your body will respond to how they are treating you every single time. Just something to think about, y'all. It was on my mind. I was just like, how do we talk about this? But yeah, it's you hear more people, they talk about it in secret because a lot of times people don't know how to speak on this, you know? So it's like this secret underground talk of like, yeah, I don't know if my partner or this person I'm supposed to be friends with, the way they're treating me, I don't think they like me. I genuinely recognize certain things they've said and done or didn't do have indicated that they don't like me. So the reason for the relationship is beyond me, but sometimes people like what you do for them. Right? They like what's sent, they don't like the sender. So there's something to think about. Parse through it. And if you're feeling a certain kind of way, you know, what boundaries can you put in place? What could be your next step? Because, you know, we overlook the dangers of jealousy and envy and animosity sometimes in our interpersonal relationships. A jealous person is capable of a lot of things, even if it's a smile in the meantime while they're conspiring, right? But that's all I got for you guys. Take care of yourselves out there, okay? Coaching is available. One-on-one coaching is available. The link will be in this description. The deadline for the Newark Film Festival in Delaware is coming up. So if you are a filmmaker, storyteller, and you want to submit your film, get on it. I'll be posting the link in the description of this episode as well. All right. But with that being said, take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Take flight.